sucked. That was not a good movie. Welcome to Movie Monday! As you may or may not know, I'm a big movie buff, so this is a movie video. I've seen maybe 4 other channels do this before, where they talk about the movies they've watched every month, or the shows they've watched. I don't know who started it, because I saw a few different people do it, and I've been watching them for about a year now, but I'm doing it now. So anyway, let's get into it. These are the movies that I've watched in August. Sorry it's a little late. So I actually collect movies. I go to thrift stores constantly, looking for new movies to try, or classic movies that I've never seen before. They have those dollar movies, and it's like the easiest way to collect. Anywho, let's start off with a bang. So I found the movie Pleasantville for only a few cents. I don't remember exactly how much it was. It was less than $1, and it was brand new, sealed. So I got it, nonchalantly thought I'd try it. I love that movie. That was such a good movie. I wonder why I never heard of it before. It stars Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man, and Reese Witherspoon. You're breaking up with me because I'm too blonde? They play siblings who basically have nothing in common. Tobey Maguire is a nerd for the show he really loves from the 50s, Pleasantville. Honey, I'm home. And the sister is, you know, Miss Popular, all about boyfriends and hanky-panky time. And long story short, they get a magic remote that ended up transporting them inside the Pleasantville TV show.
We're in Pleasantville?
No!
We're supposed to be in school.
We're supposed to be in color?
So they're now in black and white because it's an old 50s show.
Look at me! I'm pasty!
And throughout the movie, they slowly start changing the characters in this universe. And the more they change things, things start to turn into color. So this movie is visually stimulating. It is so beautiful to look at. Very artistic. This entire movie was one big piece of art. My favorite scene for those visuals is when Tobey Maguire and a lady he likes, they're driving up to a park, and it goes from black and white to then we start seeing pink flower petals, and then they end up, it's like Wonderland or Wizard of Oz, where they go into this world of color. The most beautiful movie scene I've ever seen in my life. And I really love the moral of the movie.
I had the right house, I had the right car, I had the right life.
There is no right house, there is no right car.
I'm 40 years old. I mean, it's not supposed to be like this.
It's not supposed to be anything.
Also, I'd like to shout out Jeff Daniels' performance in this movie. I think Jeff Daniels is very underrated. He's such a good actor, and his character was my favorite in the whole movie.
I didn't know what to do.
What's wrong?
Well, I always wipe down the counter, and then you set out the napkins and glasses, and then I make the French fries, and...
Yeah.
But you didn't come, so I just kept on wiping.
This movie was 100% a gem to find. The next movie I found at a thrift store that I thought I'd try. Let me give you a hint. Okay, ready? And... I know what you're thinking, and you're right. Ghostbusters! Totally kidding. I just wanted to confuse you of what the pig nose had to do with it. But no. The movie I got from the thrift store was Penelope. This movie, I remember seeing the trailers when it first came out, but I had zero interest in seeing it because it looked so stupid. And I'm here to tell you, I was right.
Hello, I'm Penelope, and you must be...
Now, it wasn't as stupid as I thought it was going to be. It wasn't. It wasn't that bad. It was okay. If you haven't heard of it, it's about a girl who's been cursed to have the nose of a pig. She spent her whole life in hiding, aka frozen, but make it pig nose instead of ice powers. And she can't hurt anybody except herself. Basically, she's trying to find a hubby, who will love her even though she has a pig nose, and meanwhile she hates that about herself. But she finally gets tired of everything and runs away from home. There's kind of bad guys. Anyway, it wasn't a bad movie, but it wasn't, maybe it was slightly bad. It wasn't great, but it wasn't as awful as I thought it was gonna be. I didn't mind watching it, but I don't think I'd ever watch it again. Next, I watched a movie on Disney Plus with my bestie Ellie. There was a Disney movie her and I had both never seen before that we thought was a classic, and that is Flubber. Now, I had kind of high hopes for this because one, it's a Disney movie, and they don't typically go wrong, especially by this point in the 90s. The 60s and 70s was a different time for them. We don't talk about that. You know, as far as live actions go. But this one, you know, Disney and Robin Williams together. I thought, yes! But that movie sucked. That was not a good movie. Of course, Robin Williams is the best part about it, and also the running gag with the little boy being scared of windows. And every time he looks through a window, something bad happens. Aside from those two things, that was a terrible movie. Not a lot of plot. Yeah, don't see Flubber, that the movie's named after, very much in the movie. You see the robot way more, even though the plot does kind of surround Mama? Where was I? The story of the movie does kind of revolve around Flubber, but you don't see it much. The robot he also invented has way more screen time, and you know, the ending battle, they're even like, "For Weebo!" That's the name of the robot. I don't know, I could kind of see the movie being called Weebo a lot more than called Flubber. Anyway, the story was weak, the writing was weak. I never need to see this again. But R.I.P. Robin Williams. Next movie was one that I heard talked about in my past film classes before, and in the film community in general, movie buffs, people who are passionate about film, studying film, talking about film. As well as I look up movies everyone should watch all the time. I read those kind of articles, and this was on the list, so when I found it, I got it. And that is Lost in Translation. I've been pushing this movie aside for a while, but I finally sat myself down to watch it. And again, like Penelope, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be, only more so. This actually was a decent movie. So it's about two main characters. One is a middle-aged man who's a big star in America. He's coming to Japan to film a commercial and do a talk show, make that money. Meanwhile, he's kind of lost in life. And our other main character, she is in her young 20s, and she's married to a guy, and they don't really have anything in common. So she's kind of not feeling that marriage anymore, and she feels lost. And these two characters meet and become friends. They're staying at the same hotel, and they just start hanging out every day. Basically, they both feel lonely. They each lost their zest for life, their passion. They no longer know what to do with their lives. Does it get easier?
No. Yes. It gets easier. The more you know who you are and what you want, the less you let things upset you.
Yeah. I just don't know what I'm supposed to be.
And as someone in young adulthood myself, I did resonate with that theme a lot. The fact that they're in a foreign country with a completely different culture and language than they're used to just intensifies this feeling that they both have. The entire movie was shot in Japan, so that was one aspect of it I really love, because I love Japan. I want to go to Japan. I think specifically Tokyo. I don't think they ever left Tokyo. Yeah. I love seeing the food, the lights, the culture, the arcades, the billboards, everything. So, if anything, that was my biggest takeaway. At first, they both feel trapped in Japan and in that setting, and they make the best of it, and they have fun with each other. Not romantically, they're just friends. That was another thing that could throw you off with this movie, is there was a big age gap between them, so you can make of that what you will. I was skeptical at first, then it turned out to be a cute relationship. I remember there was one part they were both complaining about Japan and wanting to get out, and I was thinking, you just need a fun night out. Of course you don't like it at that hotel with all the snobs that you don't have anything in common with. Just go have fun. And they eventually did, and I think they changed their minds. It's hard to tell because the focus changed to them just not wanting to leave each other because they had such a good relationship, and once it ends, they have to go back to their miserable lives, basically. Not a lot of plot in this movie, it's just them hanging out, but it's not really one of those movies where it's supposed to have plot. It's just about feeling lost in life and taking a break and having fun and forming relationships where you wouldn't expect them to be, I guess. This isn't a movie I would watch a lot, as I said, because there's no plot. It's kind of boring, but it's a movie to watch once in your life, yeah. This next one, I've seen the movie before, but this was a different version of the movie. You'll see. At the thrift store, I found the limited collector's edition of E.T. I think this was the 20th anniversary. Very cool, lots of pictures. So the thing about it that makes it 2-disc is it comes with the original 80s release of the film, and then it came with a re-edited version of the movie, which is what I watched. Mixed feelings about that. I'm not going to talk about the movie itself because we all know E.T. It's a classic. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it. It's one of the best movies of all time. What I didn't like about the re-edited version was they wanted to re-edit E.T.'s facial expressions, but it looked way too CGI, cartoony, just not real, that I didn't like it. And side note, I thought it was better in the original that his facial features didn't move much. I thought it made him more mysterious and more like they couldn't understand him, which I thought was the whole point of the movie. He's an alien from outer space. They have trouble communicating with him, so he starts communicating his feelings through the main character, Elliot. Like, it made sense. But that's a personal preference thing. One other difference I didn't particularly like, original 80s version, all the bad guys, sure, they were all holding guns. Edited version from 2002, they put walkie-talkies in their hands instead. And I think that took away the main fear element of this whole scene. It was also probably a little more realistic. They were desperate to get the alien, or they wouldn't want the alien to hurt the kids, both. The mom freaking out. It just made more sense with the guns a little bit, but whatever. A couple things I did like was they added a deleted scene of Elliot and E.T. bonding in the bathroom, which was good. Their relationship is the heart of the movie, so it was better to see them bond a little more. And they just re-edited like the sky and how certain things were angled or lit.
Tell me when it's over! Tell me when it's over!
So that just made it look better. So that was good. And those are all the new movies I've never seen before that I watched this month. I could just do this again next month and tell you what I watched. You let me know, and I'll see you next time.